Chairman, thank you for being here today. I know it's been a couple hours, so I appreciate that. So I was at a bank in my district last week, a prominent bank in southeastern Wisconsin, and we had a very good discussion with staff at that bank about fraud. And then we had credit unions this week in DC, so I talked to a number of people about. I don't think this topic came up. Maybe it did. Maybe it touched on it this morning. I've got judiciary going on as well. But in both of those instances, there was a component of this which is related to family members that actually are part of the fraud, or sometimes bilking. For the most part, the targets are adults. And it's, another family member is having a discussion about one of their accounts. And it's not until kind of the front line, which is oftentimes the person working at the credit union or the bank that's in a teller position, that kind of realizes something isn't right. So I was just wondering if I could just get a thought on the family aspect of this, and certainly law enforcement. I mean, they don't want to get involved in any of these fraud-related scams that are nationwide, but when it includes a family member, it's even more hands-off, is what I'm being told. I'm wondering if you believe that is the case. And Mrs. Dempsey.
Not in our community, and that falls for us, it sounds like, more under adult protective services. When we see family members that are taking advantage of an elderly grandparent or aunt or uncle, of things of that nature. I'm not sure if that's what you're implying.
Yeah, that's what the discussion is about.
Or a caregiver, that it's gotten control as an authorized signer on their account or something of that nature. So for us, and in Tennessee, we've also got very good laws to help us with elder abuse and prevention and protection. So we have a good relationship with our law enforcement and with adult protective services when we recognize that and see it happening.
Very good. Mr. McDade?
I would echo the fact that we would approach adult and family services within our elder care program when we do detect something that could indicate that someone's being taken advantage of by somebody close to them. There are processes to do that. It's usually through the state's attorney general's office in the various states that we do business in, and we regularly make those reach outs when it's appropriate.
Very good. Ms. McCune?
I want to note that one of the things that I think can give law enforcement some trepidation is how very complex these situations are. They rely heavily on us to try to unwind and figure out what's going on. We lean into our tellers in our branches when they have good relationships and know some of the dynamics, but it's unquestionably true that vulnerable folks are vulnerable, and that can be family members, that can be people they've designated as powers of attorney, et cetera. And so we do as much as we can to package the information to say, this is why we believe this is what's going on.
Very good. Mr. Schuster?
Thank you. It's a great question, and I think you're hearing that financial institutions are doing a lot to identify these frauds. They're many times on the front lines identifying where there is family fraud, potential elder abuse, and reporting that, and that helps. This is not something that the CFPB is doing. This is financial institutions themselves, and having laws that restrict their ability to stop these types of things are where there's impediments to continuing to help consumers.
Very good. Mr. Rust, I don't know if you have a comment on that topic.
I agree with much of what's been said, but I also want to emphasize that the size of reporting, if the amount is only $2,000 or $3,000, which is still plenty, that needs to be routed up to law enforcement. I think a whole of government approach to public infrastructure surrounding complaints, people shouldn't have to know which agency they should complain to, right? That information should be, if it ends up in the wrong agency, shared with the correct agency, with the kind of customer service relationship work that the Bureau has always shown.
Very good. Thank you so much. I yield back, Chairman.